Welcome to the show, everybody. I had an awesome one for you today. So I am obsessed with this story about the mini submarine that does Titanic tours going missing. I'm going to lead with that in just a second. It is wild, bro. It is wild. So we have that. We also have Donald Trump sits down for an interview with Fox host Bret Baier. And look, to put it simply, Bret Baier runs circles around him. And what this proves is if you have a journalist or a reporter who is actually aggressive in questioning Trump, he folds like a cheap lawn chair. We also have Hunter Biden guilty of various crimes, and we have Andrew Tate indicted on probably the worst crimes imaginable. So we got all that and much more. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. All right, so look, I wasn't going to lead with this story, but then I got obsessed with it. And so I had to talk about it. I'm, of course, talking about the mini submarine that has gone missing. This is a mini submarine that was, with a company that does tours of the Titanic. I'm going to get to everything about that in a second, but first let me point this out. This is an argument people are making on social media that I think is actually fair. People are saying, well, hold on now. Everybody's obsessed with this mini submarine going missing story. Myself included, by the way. But at the same time, there's another story of a ship sinking off the coast of Greece. And this ship had anywhere from 200 to 800 migrants on board. And now these people are dead. They're gone. And nobody's really saying anything. Nobody cares. Apparently, the authorities were very slow to respond in that instance. And the argument a lot of people are making is, we just don't care about migrants. We just don't care about immigrants or refugees. And people apparently do care about these very rich passengers, let's be kind and say that, who are on the tour of the Titanic, who are now gone. And look, on the one hand, I think that's a fair point, right? Like, our priorities are clear, or the priorities of the collective consciousness are clear in this scenario. But what I'll also say is this. I think the mystery angle for the mini submarine story is what's intriguing a lot of people. Like, we don't know what happened, so that naturally intrigues a lot of people. Also, the fact that we're talking about the worst imaginable nightmare fuel, man. This is like everybody's worst nightmare if you stop and think for 30 seconds about being in that mini submarine. Okay, so let me give you the specifics on this. There's this company called OceanGate. OceanGate makes this mini submarine, or what's called a submersible, and the name of it is the Titan. Now, they've been doing tours of the Titanic for a while, to be fair. But, and this is a big but, the thing is hilariously unsafe. Comically unsafe. I mean, this is like something you would see in a Looney Tunes cartoon. That unsafe is what we're talking about. So look at this. Titan submersible maker OceanGate faced safety lawsuit in 2018, quote, potential danger to passengers. So what happened is this company, OceanGate, and the CEO and owner, they hired somebody who was supposed to be a safety guy. And the safety guy took a look at this submersible, ran some tests. Homeboy comes back and says, hey, dog, this thing is not approved to go as deep as you want to send it. It's not 13,000 feet is how deep the Titanic is. This can't go 13,000 feet. It can't do it. It can go like, what did they say? 1,800 meters or so. And the Titanic is about 4,000 meters. And so he was warned. Now, what did he do? He ignored it. Well, then what did dude do? Dude decided, well, look, if he's not going to listen to me, I'm trying to help him. This is a serious issue, serious safety hazard. I'm going to write a report. And that's exactly what he did. He wrote a report. He released it. On the day the report was dropped, they fired the safety guy and had him escorted out of the building. Wow. Now, you might be thinking, well, hold on now, Kyle. So this guy's a privately hired safety guy. Do they have to listen to him? Like, what are the laws around this situation? Well, the answer is simple. They claimed, this Titanic tour company, hey, man, it's all good. It's all good because this is an experimental thing that we're doing. So we're not subject to any rules and regulations. We're not subject to any government body that has oversight. Okay, well, how'd that work out? So, you guys are not going to believe this. look at the specifics of this submarine that they were on. Now, I'm going to show you here a video. This is from CBS. Now, by the way, sometimes CBS are copyright sharks. They're patent sharks, so they might knock me on this video simply for showing it. So just do your boy a favor. Click subscribe to the channel. Also support the show on Patreon or give a tip on YouTube, because we're sort of rolling the dice here by even playing this video. But it's so important that I have to show it to you guys, even if it might lead to the channel getting knocked. Look at the facts of this submarine.
That has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Oh, take your shoes off. That's customary.
Okay. Wow. Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it.
By the way, that guy is the CEO. This one who was talking here, this guy is the CEO and owner of the company. Okay.
We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea. It's also the only one with a toilet. Sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on!
They're using a Logitech game controller that you can buy at Best Buy to steer the submarine. They jerry-rigged a million pieces of this thing. They're putting it together like it's some cheap-ass RV. Guys, did you know that at 2,000 feet under the water, they sent a metal steel ball to test the pressure that you get from the water down there? And the metal ball imploded. A metal ball went. And the safety dude warned them, hey, dog, your ass is not approved going 4,000 feet underground. And by the way, at one time they said, okay, you can go, 4,000 meters underground. At one point they said you can go 1,800 meters. Did you know that they reduced that slowly over the years? They were like, okay, well, I see some cracks in your I don't know if it's like a carbon fiber. It's, I forget the kind of material it is. But they go, hey, dog, there's wear and tear on this, and any failure could be catastrophic. You were approved for 1,800 meters. Now we're going to go ahead and make that 1,500. Then they lowered it again, and then they lowered it again. And now it was at 1,000 meters. They were cleared to go underground. And again, the Titanic is 4,000 meters underground. This CEO, this owner is on, I should say, the submarine. There's, I believe, 5 people total. One of them is a billionaire. Another one is a multimillionaire. One of them brought their son, their 19-year-old son with them. Could you imagine? Your dad dragged you on this trip, and then this happens. So there is a all-hands-on-deck search going on right now. You have the Canadian government, the U.S. government, officials who are involved with the biggest deep sea companies in the world. They're all involved. You got planes out there, you got boats out there, and they're searching. Now, by the way, this thing doesn't have radar. It doesn't have sonar. It doesn't have GPS. The only way you can communicate when you're on board this thing is via text message only when you're directly under the ship. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding. Now, I'm going to give you what many are viewing as a positive twist in the story. Underwater noises heard in frantic search for submersible missing with 5 aboard near the Titanic. They lost contact at about 1 hour and 30 minutes or 1 hour and 45 minutes into the trip. So they were already below the line where they say it's not really safe to be in this thing. So this might be a hot take on my part, but I'm going to just say it. I think this is a false alarm. I mean, the argument is, oh, in 30-minute increments, we're hearing a knocking noise or a banging noise under the water. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. I think this is a false alarm. I don't know what the knocking noise is, but they have less than 20 hours of oxygen left, and that only is if they filled up the oxygen fully, which it doesn't look like they did, because you know what? This guy doesn't care a lot about safety. In fact, he has some sort of quote like, safety's overrated. So it can carry up to 4 days worth of oxygen, but they say usually has 4 days worth of oxygen in the article. I don't even think they probably had 4 days of oxygen in there. So what I think happened, and this is just my speculation, I think they got below the line that it was technically safe for them to be at, as they've done many times before, and the thing finally gave out. And I think the pressure killed them instantly. But you know what? Look, all things considered, if it was me on there, if my options are slowly but surely die, choke to death because I'm deprived of oxygen in this tiny ass thing over the course of 4 days, where you have nothing but dread and you're terrified and you are, I would have the meanest, anybody would have the meanest panic attack anybody's ever seen. The anxiety itself would kill me. The anxiety would induce a heart attack, which would kill me. If I had to sit there for 4 days, slowly waiting to die, or get taken instantly from the water pressure because the thing imploded, I think I would pick the getting taken instantly because the thing imploded. I mean, it's not ideal. I'd rather not have had this happen at all. But here we are. So I couldn't stop reading about this thing. Did you guys know? One of the billionaires who went on this thing, one of his billionaire buddies was going to go with him. He put his down payment. Then he learned about all the corners that they cut with this company. He was like, oh, I'm not going on that thing. Are you insane? As soon as homeboy learned all the issues, or maybe he watched that CBS report, or maybe he read the safety report, or maybe he saw it's controlled with a goddamn PlayStation controller, he was like, you know what? Give me my deposit back. I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one, champ. I don't even think people fully understand. They have no idea. Even if they find these people, they have no idea how they're going to save them. They have no idea how they're going to bring them up. First of all, it is pitch black where they are all the way down there. Pitch black. They are, and they're mega deep, even under best case scenario, because they were an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 45 minutes out before they lost contact. It is if they're alive. What are they going to do? How are they going to save them? What are you going to send down another submarine or mini submarine and then what, like tow it like it's a car? How are you going to attach the things that you need to attach in order to tow it? Nope, you can't get out there. The water pressure is so immense, it would implode a human body instantly, so there's no way you can attach something to then tow it. What are you going to do? Seriously, what would you send down a rope with a giant magnet? Again, like we're in a Looney Tunes cartoon? What are you going to do? Even the equipment that exists to sort of do big cleanups on the ocean floor, it's not made for things that have people in it. It's not made for that. It's made for like shipwrecks or whatever. So it's not like it's a careful procedure. They could break the thing just trying to get a hold of it, right? You would need like a year or two and the best engineering minds in the world to figure out a way to even in theory try to get these guys out of there. There's nothing they could do, dog. Even if they find them, even if they know exactly where they are, even if they can communicate with them, they ain't gonna get them. This is a recovery mission at this point. I have seen some tweets. I have people on Twitter basically saying, fuck them, they deserve to die. I have seen it. Now, if you told me, Kyle, some people are saying that, I wouldn't believe you. But like I've seen it firsthand. And the argument is, here you have some rich assholes doing some rich asshole shit, and you fucked around and you found out. As a basic human decency type thing, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, man. I don't want these billionaire people to die in the most terrifying way imaginable. I just want to tax their ass more. So I guess I'm an enlightened centrist on this question, but what I would want is them to find these people alive, save their lives, fine and shut down this company, lock up the CEO who ignored all the safety warnings, and then tax the rich people massively. That's my best scenario. I don't want them to get murdered. I don't want them to die like this, right? I don't want anybody to die like that. There's a 19-year-old on board, man. Come on now. Come on. What are we talking about? But there is an ultimate irony, isn't there? We're talking about the whole reason the Titanic sank was because of arrogance and hubris. And, oh, this ship is too big to sink. It's unsinkable. And then it sank. And so now there was a lot of arrogance and a lot of hubris in all the corners that were cut in sending this thing down there. All the lack of safety standards. Ignoring every warning sign. And now this happens. And again, it's called the Titan. So the Titanic went down because of arrogance and hubris, and now it looks like the Titan is going down because of arrogance and hubris. So, wild, wild stuff, man. By the way, there's only one window, and it's pitch black down there. You would have to be shining like a spotlight. You wouldn't even be able to see much. It's not like you're going to walk away, oh, yeah, I saw a lot of the Titanic, and it was incredible. No, you're looking through a little hole, man. It's not worth it. Go watch a YouTube video of the shit. It's way better. HD, bitch. So there you have it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.